I'd like us to look at the idea that we have been trying to express and share for the last couple of weeks, and that is on regard to the mission of the church, and that is to seek and save those which are lost. And really, that's Jesus' mission. And so we're going to use for a subject today, and that is seeking and saving that which is lost. Let's check the book. In the book of Luke, if you would, around chapter 19, and the verse is verse number 10, I'd like you to notice there what the Bible says. And again, for the subject, we're going to use, let's specify, Jesus came to seek and save those which are lost. Around verse number 10, we find these words. For the Son of Man is come to seek and to save that which was lost. Before we look at this enormous passage and really the enormous power that's in what Jesus himself says, I want us to even go further back than the 9 verses that precede verse number 10 to give us some sense of what's going on around this time. The Bible says in Luke chapter 18 around verse 31 that Jesus says these words. Let's check the book. Then he took unto him the 12 and said unto them, Behold, we go up to Jerusalem, and all things that are written by the prophets concerning the Son of Man shall be accomplished. For he shall be delivered unto the Gentiles, and shall be mocked, and spitefully treated, and spit on, and they shall scourge him, and put him to death, and the third day he shall rise again. And so Jesus says that to his disciples, he calls them together, and he says, we're going up to Jerusalem. And there they're going to kill me. Matter of fact, even before they kill me, they're going to do some ugly and nasty and some dirty things to me. Matter of fact, they're going to mock me. They're going to try to have fun on me. And not only that, they're going to spit on me. I'm going to die. But I'm getting up, he says, on the third day. But the next verse says this, verse 34. And they understand none of these things, and the saying was hid from them. Neither knew they the things which were spoken. So the Bible says they did not comprehend what Jesus really said. As he travels, and he's on his way to Jerusalem, because really they're going to the Passover feast. Great Jewish holiday. That was a festivity that really brought back to remembrance how God had delivered the Jews, Israel, from Egyptian bondage. And that is, he sent 10 plagues down upon Pharaoh and Egypt. And finally, Pharaoh let God's people go when the death angel came by and made sure that the firstborn in every home would die, other than those who had the blood of the lamb spread on their doorposts. And so, as the death angel came to God's people home, the blood was there, and he passed over. And so, it was a great celebration that was supposed to be remembered every year to the Jews. And so, the Bible says they're en route to Jerusalem. But on the way, the Bible says something happens. Let's check the book. Around verse 35, the Bible says this. And it came to pass that as he was come nigh unto Jericho, a certain blind man sat by the wayside begging. And hearing the multitude pass by, he asked what it meant. And they told him that Jesus of Nazareth passeth by. And he cried, saying, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. And they which went before rebuked him, that he should not hold this peace. But he cried so much the more, Thou son of David, have mercy on me. And Jesus stood and commanded him to be brought unto him. And when he was come near, he asked him, saying, What wilt thou that I shall do unto thee? And he said, Lord, that I may receive my sight. And Jesus said unto him, Receive thy sight, thy faith have saved thee. And immediately he received the sight and followed them, watched us, glorifying God. And all the people when they saw it, gave praise unto God. And so the setting is this. Jesus is going to Jerusalem to die. On his way, he performs a miracle. God is glorified by the miracle, and folk are feeling all so good. They have saw Jesus perform another miracle. And they feel good anyhow because they're going to the great festival, the Passover. And so things are very joyous, very jubilant now. But then in chapter 19, the Bible says, he enters into Jericho. Let's check the book. And Jesus entered and passed through Jericho. Now, what we need to recognize that the Bible does not share here is that Jericho is a tremendous city. It's a city that is very pretty. It's a city that has flowers, they say, everywhere. And one of the features about Jericho is that it has a palm tree there that produces a fragrance, a tremendous beauty in regard to a sweet fragrance. It is said that this fragrance or the smell goes out for miles. And so we're in an atmosphere where it's smelling good, it's looking good, it's a pretty city, and Jesus has performed the miracle, and everybody is feeling oh so good. But as he passes through Jericho, the Bible says, there's a particular man there that he will eventually be. Let's check the book. In chapter 19, around verse 2, the Bible says, and behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, which was the chief among the publicans, and he was rich. Watch this. So the Bible says that in Jesus traveling to Jerusalem to die, that there's a man in Jericho. He is identified by the name of Zacchaeus. He is by occupation not just a publican, but he's the chief publican. He is the head man in charge. He's he's the director. If you want to see the main man when it comes to IRS, you need to see Zacchaeus. There's something about that, though. To the Jews, he is a hated man. Because to become a tax collector, and that's what a publican meant, you would buy a franchise. You would buy from another government, in particular who's in charge now, who's in rule, is the Roman government. The Roman government, the Jews thought was an evil, and they were bothered, they were troubled because they thought, in so many words, that Rome had their foot on their neck, and they were limited to their freedom. And so now, for one of their own people, a Jew, to sell out and buy a franchise, to collect money, and then at the same time collect more than what was required, he was considered a traitor. And so if there was anyone that was considered the worst of sinners, it would be Zacchaeus.